Hey everybody, I want to make a video on how to do sheetrock, specifically the drills you should be using, the common tools that I found through the years work. I'm not a sheetrock guy, but I've done remodels most of my life since I was like 9 or 10 because my family was into it. These are the things that I've learned that work best, and so I want to walk you through what works best and why, from tool belts to drills, and why the different drills and things like that. So today we're just going to go through drills. So this goes from best to worst, or best down to worst. This drill, I want to talk about a few features on it. It can be used for small jobs. It's fine for small jobs. If it's a one and done, like a small little wall, something like that, I would recommend just going with your standard drill. Cordless is a must. Now, I like the Makita, and I do the small battery for a reason. The big battery is a lot heavier, and yes, it lasts longer, but it doesn't matter to me because this battery charges in like 15 minutes, and I have 2 of them in the pack. So it's totally fine for what I need to do. If I was doing sheetrock all day, every single day, this wouldn't be reasonable. If I'm doing deck screws all day, every single day, it doesn't make sense because your battery's not going to last that long. But for little handyman jobs or small remodels here and there, it works fantastic. Now, the reason I like this drill, not only is the battery small and it charges quick, it's actually got a lot of power. I got the one with the clutch. So you can do the clutch, and it's got dual speed. The dual speed is nice for sheetrock. You do it on one and it goes pretty quick. Drills it in fairly fast, and it's light. And this clip is actually extremely useful. I wouldn't get a drill that doesn't have a clip because I can just clip it on my belt. And unless if I'm doing like a lot of stuff where I need a tool belt, I'll get a tool belt with screws in it. On tool belts, you want one where it doesn't have sacks hanging low. This one's too low, and I have to reach down to get the screws. It hurts my back after a little bit of time. So be careful on what tool belt you use. That's just some old cheap one that I got laying around for this project. The other thing I always do is I don't like to use a tool belt unless I absolutely need it. And the reason why is because I don't do this every day. I work a desk job 9 to 5, actually probably like 8 to 7. I work, pretty good hours. I do work overtime. Don't get paid, of course, because I'm on salary, but whatever, that's part of the deal. But normally, if I can get away from it, I just put like a utility knife in my back pocket because I'm always using it, and a pencil to mark where my stuff is. And if I have a tape measure, I'll have that just hooked on my belt. And so I have to tuck in my shirt, and sometimes I even have it tucked in just one side because I don't care. It's all about speed and getting the job done, because I do have my job. I do have children. I have to have a life, so it's about going quick. So those are the things that have helped me. Now, if you're doing more than just a little small wall on sheetrock, I, in the past, thought that it would be great to get a sheetrock drill, and this drill is a little bit different. You can see it's got a different clutch on it. This is actually not a clutch, it's actually a depth gauge. And this, you keep it pressed down the whole time, and it doesn't spin. It doesn't spin until it's pushed in, and then it engages the clutch and it screws the screw in. The good thing about that is I can keep it going. Drill, put a screw on, drill, put a screw on, drill. I don't have to let go of the trigger. It's a lot quicker than this. So usually you'll set your piece of sheetrock. For example, I'll put 4 screws in it on a wall, maybe 6 on the ceiling. I'll come back with this and do all the screws that I need to do to really secure it. But to just set that sheetrock, I don't care about putting every screw in right away. I'm usually going to set it with something like this because it's light and it's quick and it's cordless. So I go and I set it. Now, for this project, I actually got an auto feeding drill. This is a Hitachi. I actually got 2 kinds. This one was 150 bucks. This was $100 when I originally bought it, and I think they're about that now. I've had this for 6 or 7 years. I only used it on like 2 jobs. I don't really like it. It is quick, but most of the time for small handyman work, I don't use it. I rarely do a larger project, just because mostly I'm just doing handyman stuff on apartments and things like that. I got this one because I started a new project and I just absolutely do not have time. And so when I first started doing remodels, back when I was like in college and I was married and I had kids and life was insane, I was working overtime and taking full-time school, I was crazy concerned about money, as I still am. So it was a big step for me to go to a drill just for sheetrock, but I was redoing a whole basement on a little property we bought, a little duplex. We ended up living in that basement, so I bought this for that purpose, and it worked okay for that. It was a lot better than this, but since I've gotten this, I would never use this again, ever. I would not even recommend buying it. I'd get one that auto feeds, and I got two kinds. I got the rigid kind, which is like $90 right now in 2020, and then I got this Hitachi, which I didn't even know what the reviews were on it. I just needed something quick. So I got this. Metabo, I don't even know the brand. So I got it at Lowe's. It auto feeds the screws. You just simply run it through here, and then it clips in here, and then every time I do a screw, it goes automatically. And the reason why I got it is because I have to do a lot of my work alone. So what I do is I come up to the wall, I'll set the sheetrock, and I'll have this clipped to my belt. It does have a clip, which is absolutely required for me. And it's actually got some ergonomics. You can actually push right here and it fits in your hand nicely when you have it engaged fully. So once I have that, I can just have it on. And then I set the sheetrock and I just go zip, 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 zip. That one's done, I go to the next piece. Then I come back and I have my case full of screws, which looks like this. So I get a new string once they're done, and they go quick, man. When this thing's going, it goes quick. And I came back, and you can see this room pan around, Thunder. You can see how big this room is. I got, I don't know, this entire wall, that entire wall, and then a room in there, all four walls. So quite a bit of square feet, quite a bit of sheetrock. Is like 32, 33 sheets of sheetrock. And I did all the full drilling with this in like a half hour. Whereas with something like this, it would probably double this, would be like 5 or 6 times longer. So fatigue for me is a huge thing. If I can go faster, that's great because I work after work. And so I have to fit in all this stuff after work. And so it cuts into my family time and my sleep time, so I cannot go slow on stuff. Even looking back in hindsight, I would have still bought this on my first project, even though it was 50% more money than the DeWalt, which is a very good drill. It just doesn't have an auto feed mechanism. I would have still bought this because of the time savings. And I've learned through the years that going slower on projects is always the most expensive thing on a project for me. Speed gets that meter running. What I mean by that is it gets you making money quicker because I can get the job done quicker. And it's rare that I'm in a position to research who a good contractor is, because most of the time I do small projects and I know how to do the work. Sometimes I'm kind of in a corner and it's a timeline thing. And I have to go in there and get it done because I got to get it done in a week because I have a place rented or the customer needs it done or whatever it may be. So I always lose the most money because of time, not because of the tool I use, not necessarily because of the material I use, it's time. So now I want to demonstrate. I just got this piece set up. I've already finished this room in here, so I don't have anything to screw there. But just to show you the difference, if I'm screwing this in, I'll just do a couple of 2 or 3 screws. So on this one, it's on the fast speed. I don't really need a clutch. And the other thing is you got to have a sheetrock bit. That'll make it so it stops once you're in deep enough. So you take it, and then you go to your high speed. So it's pretty good, just starting out. You take the DeWalt, which is actually plugged in. And this one, unless you're really good with your screws, which I'm not because I don't do it that much. You can see the depth needs to be adjusted, but you can see how quick it is. It's almost as fast as a nail gun. Whereas this, the reason this sold me, I knew it was going to be faster, but I couldn't justify the extra 50 bucks at first. But the thing is I can't hold a piece of sheetrock, put a screw on a drill, and drill it in with 2 hands very easily. I don't do this much, so I don't have that skill. And so this saves that skill. So I can hold the sheetrock up and... So it's crazy fast. And you can see I just put in like 8 screws with like no problem. It's 2, 3, 5 times faster than anything else. It's totally worth the money. So those are the best practices for what drills to use on your sheetrock and how to get it done. So I hope you like it. Hope it helped you. Rock on with your projects, guys. Keep moving.